What's good, everybody? What's going on? It's your girl Chrissy back with another episode of Cipher Knowledge with Chrissy. And we have a great show in store for you this evening. We will be talking cigars. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and throw up this ticker really quick because I have an announcement to make. Starting January 2021, you will no longer be able to catch Cipher Knowledge with Chrissy on Facebook. You will only be able to see it exclusively on YouTube. So make sure you head over to 2M1L Media, subscribe, like, share, hit the notification button so that you can get all the content and get notifications of when we're going live. Go over there. I'm going to be banging this in your head for the next 6 weeks. Head over to 2M1L Media. You're also going to find some other great shows over there. You're going to find Around the Turnbuckle. It comes on Saturdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. You got Home Team Sports and Entertainment, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. You got Spitting with Spitter, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. And I got some other stuff coming in the mix in the tunnel. It's coming. But you got to stay tuned. You got to go like, subscribe, share, hit the notification. We're going to get to comments real quick. What's going on, Alan? Good evening. Thanks for joining. Hey, Angel. Thanks for coming on. Yes, YouTube. Go to YouTube. 2M1L Media. Like, subscribe, notification button. All right. And I'm going to just keep that ticker rolling at the bottom so we all know what's going on. But now I would like to introduce my guest, Jamie Rosario, my cigar aficionado. Introduce yourself.
Good evening there, Miss Chrissy. How are you?
Good. Glad that you are on the show.
I am happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I am here in lovely, wonderful Bridgeport, Connecticut, and having myself a good old time. I'm actually right now sitting in the Orange Cigar Shop. So as you can see, there's a nice little decor behind me. I'm going to turn this camera around so you guys can see what it looks like here. You know.
Look at that. Let me find out.
Nice little relaxing area here. We got a nice little bar in case you want to go back there and pour yourself a drink.
Hey, Quincy.
All right.
Yeah. So no mask? Well, I can't. I guess you can't smoke, right?
So, and I mean, as you can see,
with a mask on, 6 feet.
You can see,
social
and where
distancing.
I am, there is nobody in my immediate area, and that is the best part about the social distancing is you can find yourself. But cigar smokers, we have this this notion that the cigar smoke will kill any type of corona anyway. So we're all right.
Listen, I am not his views are not my views. I do not co-sign that. So I will tell you the cigar smoke will keep somebody 6 feet socially distanced. So I can definitely tell you that. So I ask all my guests when they come on, what inspire them, what got them, whatever it is that's their craft, right? So what got you into cigar smoking? How did you become the aficionado?
Well, I mean, aficionado is just pretty much just someone who's smoking a lot, who enjoys the cigars. I am by no means an expert. I am a person that has been smoking for probably about 24 years now. What got me into it is, of course, movies and TVs. If you look at movies and TVs, of course, in the 80s and 90s, you would see somebody smoking a cigar, and the first thing that you thought of was opulence, was some sort of richness, luxuriousness. And then, you change that over a little bit. And then, of course, you go to the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where he's smoking a cigar, going around shooting everybody. So for me, it was then became the cool factor. So you look at it in terms of coolness, luxury, the picture of opulence, the picture of richness, if you will. And that's what got me into it. So that's what was my lead into it. So once 1996 happened, a friend of mine, we were graduating from college at the same time, 96, 97. And I said, you know what? Why not go ahead and start smoking cigars at that point? So I went into a cigar shop, and it was probably some side of the road cigar shop, and picked up a couple of sticks from this old humidor. And I knew nothing about cigars. Nothing about it. Like I said, aside from what I saw in the pictures or in the movies rather. So grabbed a couple of cigars. We had the sticks and we lit them up, and I mean they were burning unevenly. They were just
Canoeing.
oh man, it was bad. It was so bad. But it was, hey, I'm smoking the cigar.
Hmm.
So the first cigar that I had, the funny part about when trying to cut it is I didn't know anything about cutting it, so I just grabbed the cigars. So when you watch the movies, what does Arnold Schwarzenegger do? He bites it and then spits it out. Spits the tip out. So I figured, you know what, that's what I can do. I can actually go ahead and do that and see how that works. Yeah, that was a horrible experience because what happens is you have all that tobacco that's in there. And if it's not a clean cut, as you try and puff on the cigar, you're getting bits of tobacco and everything else that's still going in your mouth. And it's not pleasant, but at least you have that cool factor. Like, hey, look, if Arnold can do it, I can work my way through it as well.
Right. So we have a comment from Alan here. Alan is the host of Around the Turnbuckle, along with Keith, and then he also hosts Home Team Sports and Entertainment. So he's part of our 2M1L Media, and he says Chrissy plus a cigar equals maybe a Monica Lewinsky.
I mean, uh, I mean, is that where we're jumping to? Is this how this conversation is gonna go? When there's a cigar, you got to be seasoned. I mean, um, now, I mean, if we're going this route, we might as well just jump into it. I mean, you can, if the female is adventurous enough, you can find a way to season your cigars a little bit more for extra little memento of flavor. I mean, I'm sure it's happened all around the world. Why not? I mean,
But do you put it in the humidor with the rest of them?
no, you don't keep that one a little separate. You don't keep that one a little separate because you want that one to be that special smoke. Like, you know what? Let me go ahead and reminisce a little bit about how this cigar got this extra flavor to it.
They'd be like, "Hey, Jamie, by the way, I took a cigar out of your humidor. It was the
Now you
one,
did.
two to the left."
No,
Like,
there are
that's
there
the
are
way
some
he
there are
talk.
some cardinal sins, and taking a cigar out of another man's humidor without permission or without him giving it to you, or female at that matter, is
Mhm.
a true sin. So that is something that you do not want to do.
Do you think cigar smoking for women is sexy?
Absolutely. I mean, the part of cigar smoking for females is one of those. Pardon me. The part of cigar smoking for one of those females is people look at it as taboo, right? So if you see a female that actually enjoys the cigar and is properly smoking it and she knows what she's doing, that is actually a very sexy and very appealing type of look for a lot of guys.
Alice says, "Hell
Alan
yeah."
has to hell yeah. Alan, I appreciate that, bro. So so
So,
yes.
what are some reasons that people smoke cigars? Like, why?
Okay.
Oh,
So
sorry. Excuse me.
no,
Get
no,
you
no.
puffing.
Hey, that's all right. So cigar smoking, different from cigarette smoking, is a hobby. So cigarette smoking is an addiction because you have all those additives that go into cigarettes, right? So you have the nicotine, the tar, everything else that goes into it that you're not familiar with. Whereas cigar smoking is more for relaxation and celebration. You know, you can of course smoke a cigar while you're mowing the lawn. And what are you doing? You're just focusing on that smoke, relaxing yourself as you're doing, your typical chores. Fantastic. Typical drives when I'm either going into New York or distance from Connecticut, I'll typically have a cigar because again, it's relaxing to me in during that ride. Celebration goes without saying. Somebody's getting married, the groomsmen are typically getting cigars handed to them as part of their gifts. It's again, it goes right back to the picture of opulence. It is that enjoyable hobby that you can do with anybody. I mean, because the gentlemen that are, spin my camera again, the gentlemen that are right there, you know,
Mhm.
we certainly, it's not like I know them, but we come into the cigar shop and I see them on occasion. So we'll sit and talk. You can have conversations when it comes to anything over a cigar. So it doesn't matter whether you want to discuss sports, whether you want to discuss politics, but most times people will see one another with a cigar and they'll say, "Oh, what type of stick are you smoking?" and then you can go into whatever stick it is that you're puffing on at that particular.
Before you go on, we actually have a question.
Mhm.
If I've never had a cigar, what do you recommend?
Okay, so with that, Alan, I see your question. That
Because you were
varies.
kind of leading, so I wanted
Right.
to yeah.
So that varies. When it comes to cigar smoking, you have your typical cigar shops that have a lot of natural leaf tobaccos. Okay. For a lot of people into their entry into cigars, that might be too much. So there are boutique cigar shops and boutique cigar manufacturers that make flavored cigars. So you'll have a cigar such as you can have Rosario cigars in the Bronx and Staten Island.
Which, by the way, our cigar giveaways come from Rosario Cigars. Go ahead.
So they actually specialize in flavored cigars. They do have some natural cigars, but they have a lot of flavored cigars, and they've actually cornered the market, especially here in the Northeast, as being one of the premier and best shops for them because they've done it so long. They've actually perfected it. You'll have some pop-up shops that try and do flavored cigars like a cognac or Hennessy or something, and they dip it, and it changes the flavor, the way that the cigar burns, and it's not that good. So, in terms of getting into a first cigar, try something on the sweeter side, see how you like that. And then, if you feel adventurous enough to, graduate into something that's a little bit more natural flavor,
Lewinsky. Okay.
exactly. You can jump into something that's a little bit more natural flavored and go.
There you go.
See? And that actually brings me to another point. Growing up, my transition into cigars after my, biting the tip off and having that be my first type of cigar experience. I then graduated into Garcia Vegas, which you could find at any bodega back in the early 90s, 2000s, and even probably now. And they weren't great cigars, but you could actually augment the taste by dipping it in a little bit of brown liquor. So it didn't matter if whether it was a whiskey or bourbon or even scotch or anything. Just dipping the tip in a little bit and taking a pull, and that actually changes the flavor of the cigar
My
because
mind
now
is going all over the place.
where are we going with this? Back to the Monica Lewinsky, I guess. So in this case, what happens is that actually changes it, and now you're getting a little buzz from not only the cigar, but you're not getting yourself drunk, but that cigar dipped in the alcohol is actually giving a little bit more of a stronger punch to your actual experience.
Awesome.
So hopefully, Alan, that answered your question. Yeah, you saw her mind wander. Yeah.
Alan knows me well. Mr. Rosario knows me well. What is it? 20-something years of friendship? 20?
Yeah.
But 20 years of friendship.
It's 20 years.
Yeah, because Elijah's 20.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So
he was 7 months. Yep. When I met you.
Yeah, just about. So now I see Dwayne has a comment in terms of being healthier. So let's talk about that for a moment. Healthier in terms of it doesn't have all the additives that cigarette smoking has. All right, so that goes right. Oh my God, so that goes right back to all the additives that cigarettes have that make it less healthier than cigar smoking. Also the other difference is you're not inhaling the cigar smoke the same way that you would a cigarette pull.
Are you inhaling at all?
You do inhale, and I mean there are some people that actually take it all the way down to their lungs. That's pretty extreme. But a lot of times what you do is you'll actually take the cigar pretty much just into your mouth, and this is bad. And you're just enjoying the actually complexities of the cigar itself.
So I've smoked cigars. Okay. I don't do it often. But being that I am a smoker, that I've smoked cigarettes, it is hard for me to delineate like how deep to inhale with that cigar smoke. So someone who maybe smokes cigarettes and is now going to try a cigar, like what recommendation would you give? Don't try to inhale at all, just to slowly get to
that point where you can see how far you can actually inhale the smoke and go from there. Weed smokers will actually try and take a cigar the same way, and it actually sometimes can be a little bit more potent for them. There are some professional weed smokers that it doesn't impact them at all, and they can do that God bless them. But for the majority of folks, it does take a little bit of time of getting to that point.
I think we're at that time where we're going to have our first giveaway question. I think
Okay.
this is a perfect mark, perfect time. So if you guys were listening and watching, my first question for the cigar giveaway, be the first one to answer this question correctly and you win some cigars. What are the two main reasons for cigar smoking? Come on, Dwayne. I know you wanted to win this. You got Kay there sitting it, typing it in for you. We got a couple of them. So what are the two main reasons for cigar smoking? I'm going to leave that up as we keep going. If you were watching and paying attention, you should know the answer. And I'm telling you, these are great cigars. They're hand rolled from Rosario Cigars in the Bronx. I made that special trip out there just to do it. So we got JT Funk, and he says, okay, wait, hold on.
Hold on.
We got Alan, relaxing and flavor.
No,
that's not the answer. You're close.
50% right, but not flavor.
So we're going to get to JT's question while we're still waiting for the right answer. Think. What are the two reasons? Two reasons. We went over them. What is the age?
Can I give a hint for that? I can give a hint for the question,
okay,
right? Or no?
Give a hint. You can go ahead, give a hint. We'll give a hint.
It's gonna be random for all your viewers, but the hint now we already got relaxing was up there.
Relaxing, so you got that one right. So we'll give that one to you.
Think Kool and the Gang.
Bro, I get it. But that's
all that matters. That's all that matters. Somebody's probably like, what? They're gonna Google Kool and the Gang and have to go down and figure it out. No, not exactly, Dwayne. Not exactly, Dwayne. Not exactly.
That's what happens when you come to the show late. That's what happens. Come on. So JT wants to know, what is the age range of an avid cigar smoker?
21 to death. And I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I mean, think about it. Like my grandfather smoked cigars, but of course he never smoked in the house. But what he did was, you know, he was, I believe, close to about 85. So, but nice, outstanding. That is
Haywood. No, listen. But you know what? It's yes, we got our winner.
There we go, Stephanie.
Yes,
I like that.
Stephanie.
There we go. Stephanie, did you actually figure that out, or did you go and Google Kool and the Gang?
No, Stephanie probably got it. She loves cigars, so relaxing and dancing.
Exactly. And dancing. Hey, where are you right now?
Relaxing and sex.
I mean, I guess Dwayne might be
yours.
Hold on, wait a minute. Dwayne might be right because you might be celebrating that a little.
Right. Alan, you were.
Alan, you're number 2. You're number 2.
Bit. But you know what? We got another one coming up shortly, so don't worry about that. All right, we're gonna you'll catch you on the next one. So Stephanie, thank you for joining in. You won the first round, the first giveaway. So Stephanie says, "Yeah, I won. Sorry." No, Haywood, stop. Relax and drink. We got the answer already. Relax and drink.
Haywood's going all in with all. He's like, look, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be.
That's a form for celebration.
Outstanding. See?
All right. These are my peoples. These are my peoples, right?
They are on it. They are on it. Man.
All right. So 21, you were talking about your grandfather. I'm sorry, JT. Right. I'm sorry, JT. We're coming. We're answering.
Okay. So essentially, like I said, it goes back to, the age group goes, there is no, I mean, of course, we want everyone to be of a legal smoking age. So that, I mean, there is no prime age group. But if you had to, if you put a gun to my head and said, what is it? The fad would be the 21 to 34. But those that are actually still smoking after, 34, 35 actually are enjoying the hobby of it. So I would almost say that your bigger purchasers would be probably that 34 to about 50, 55 range, because they know what they like. They've been smoking for however many years. So they actually develop more of a taste and more of an affinity for it. So I would say that you're probably looking at that, that 35 to 54, 55 range.
So Um, tell me more about cigar cuts and stuff like that. Like,
So
talk to me about
cigars,
what is that?
when it
Are we talking about
when it
cutting
comes
the
to
tip, cutting the
right, so when it comes that's it.
tip? Hold
When
on,
it comes,
before you go into that, we
Mhm,
have JT who just said, "I'm
mhm.
26-year-old and I've never seen anyone near my age range smoke them. That's why I was wondering."
And that's what happens, JT, is a lot of people in that particular age group may not be around a lot of cigar smokers. So that's actually going to bring them either along, or some folks, like I said, it just could be just a curiosity. That's what got me, and I've been, since 21, I've been smoking. So
So I know that like we, have questions and things and stuff like that, and we're gonna get to them. But this is why I love doing this live, and I never want to get away from doing this live. And that's why everybody has to go to 2M1L Media on YouTube and make sure you subscribe and like so that we can continue having these conversations live. As of January, that's the only place you're gonna be able to find me. So Dwayne wants to know what's the difference between a brown and green cigar.
gotcha. So brown and green cigars, that's going to be the wrapper. So the wrapper, we're going to get into that in a few
Okay,
minutes. Just
so we'll
hold on
get
to
to
that for a moment there, Dwayne. But the cuts were what we were talking about before.
that.
So when you get a cigar, you number one, you can't light a cigar the same way that you would a cigarette. You can't just, light it up, start puffing. That's not the way it goes. When it comes to a cigar, you actually have to, if you can, I mean, I know it's kind of tough to see on here, but I'll bring it a little closer.
What are you
So,
smoking?
so this one
Let me see
here
the
is
label.
called, okay, here we go, hang on, right into there.
I don't know. I can't see it.
It's
I don't
great.
got my
So it's called
glasses.
an El Gunense, and it's actually from Estella, Nicaragua. So when it comes to the green and brown wrappers, you see this one here. Sorry, keep moving away. Green wrappers, like
Wait, we
is
were
the
talking about
Garcia.
cuts. We were talking about cuts.
Oh,
Go
I'm
back to.
sorry. That's right. That's geez. Okay, so looking at this one, right? You see how this cigar is cut right
I
there.
know what it looks like.
What does it look like? Jesus Christ. Okay, that's called a V cut. V cut.
Yeah, it's called a V cut.
Oh, God. So the reason why you cut a V cut is sometimes it exposes the leaves a little bit more than what a
I'm
typical.
sorry. I can't
Y'all
believe
are, where are y'all going with this? Where are y'all? There's no way we can keep up with
this.
these comments.
Okay. Go, go,
Jeez.
go.
Okay, so again, the V cut, as you can see, it exposes the leaves of the cigar. Right. So now you have a V cut. You have what's known as a straight cut. Straight cut just does nothing more than just opens the leaves up just straight across the top of the cigar. And then you have what's known as a punch. A punch just puts a hole in there just so you can get the smoke, and that's the key. The key is to actually let the smoke have somewhere to escape after you've lit the cigar. So there you go.
So we got the V, the straight, and the punch, right?
Mhm. Yep. And each one of those is just a matter of preference. How do you want to actually smoke your cigar? As long as you have something that exposes the leaves, you're going to get the smoke, you're going to get it to pull, and you're going to be able to taste the cigar. So those are the three types of cuts that you're going to have primarily. There is a school there where people, a train of thought rather, where people like to just poke holes in it. That's okay. It's not great. And the reason why it's not great is because the three cuts that we named before allow the cigar to burn evenly. As you can see, this is, burning pretty well, and it doesn't overheat the cigar. Overheating the cigar, burning cigar, that's where you start to get a bitter taste. That's where things start to not taste exactly the way that cigar is manufactured to actually taste. So that's where you are. So now, what other questions did we have there?
Well, this is more particular. So I wanted to answer Haywood.
Mhm.
So you will still find me on Facebook in regards to the Cipher Knowledge page. It's going to stay there. I'm not going anywhere with regards to that. But as far as the lives, they're going to be on YouTube only. I will be sharing the links to the Cipher Knowledge page, to the 2M1L page, and to my Chrissy page. But you're gonna have to click on it. It's not gonna be a live watch. Like you're gonna have to take and if you're not clicking on it, you're not gonna see the content and you're not gonna be on live. And that's why I want everybody to go over to 2M1L Media on YouTube and subscribe, like, and hit the notification so that when I go live, you guys know I'm live and you can still continue to comment like this because this is the show. You guys are the show. But it's going to be strictly on YouTube. And then obviously I'll be posting the links, like I said. But Yeah, that's what we're doing for 2021. New year, new season two. And that's what we'll be doing for season two. But I'm gonna be reminding you for the next 6 weeks. Okay. So don't worry about that. So
Okay.
so we got the V cut, the straight cut, and the punch.
Right.
Now, when you use the cigar cutter, what kind of cut does that make? What is
So
that?
cigar cutters typically will give you a straight cut. You can spend a couple extra dollars and get a cigar cutter that will put a V. And the V, like I said, is good. It's all a matter of preference. So the straight cut will just put nothing but a straight line across the actual top of the cigar and allows that smoke to escape. And the punch puts a hole, very small diameter. If you can think of maybe what half of a penny would look like, or if you could take the center of the penny out, it just puts that small hole right in the top of the cap, and again allows you to draw the smoke.
So I know from one of my cigars I didn't have a cutter and I just made an X in it. Was that wrong?
Nope. So what happens is if you have a very sharp knife, and the key is having a very sharp cutter or knife or razor, using the method that you did, you can put an X in there. And what that does is, if you don't have a cigar cutter on you, if you have a knife on you, or whatever the case may be, you can use that in a pinch, and that will actually still allow the smoke to escape pretty well. Most cigars will allow that to still burn evenly, not overheat, and you'll be fine. So I ride motorcycles. I don't always have my cutter on me, so I do always have a knife on me. And if I go somewhere, I pick up a stick. If I don't have them cut it at the cigar shop, I'll put an X in it on my own, and that will allow for the same smoke to come through.
It was one of those smaller, thinner, daintier flavored ones. So it wasn't
Pretty sure.
like that bad. It wasn't,
Gotcha.
I've smoked the big, thick ones, but they're shorter. So, like,
Okay.
hold on, we have a question. Is it okay to pair cigar with wine, even though liquor is the main go-to?
Well, hold on. We have to jump back because there was a question about the leaves too. So
Wait, before we go to that, I think it's time for another giveaway.
it is approaching that time. I think we
I
have a
think it
couple more
is
minutes.
because,
Okay.
but
Okay.
like thinking, I'm just thinking here. Is
Go ahead.
everybody ready? Is everybody ready? Like, who's ready? Is everybody ready? Everybody ready? I need you guys to be ready for the next question. The next giveaway, hand
Mm.
rolled cigars from Rosario and a
Can
little
I share
something
my
else.
screen? Can I share my screen for like 2
Go
seconds
ahead, share your
before we get to
screen
it?
while everybody gets ready to get their keyboard ready. Go ahead,
Yeah, let me just
share
see
your
here.
screen.
Okay, blah blah blah. Yep.
Come on, you're the tech guy. What's going
Hey.
on?
Shh. Okay. Application window, Chrome tab, and bang. Hold on, here it comes. Can we see that? Can you see it? Can you see
All
it?
right. Yep.
All right. You can see that? All right, that's
Straight
going.
cut. Okay, my eyes are too damn. I
Wow.
can't. We good.
So this is just a graph of showing you exactly what it does. So as you can
You
see
want me to
here,
put it
the
back
straight
in?
cut. Hmm?
I'll put it back in. Go ahead.
Oh, so you have the straight cut, like I said, opens up the most surface of the actual cigar, so you get to the leaves. The punch, like I said, actually puts a nice little perfect circle right into the cigar cap, and then the V cut, like I said, actually cuts right through. So that way you get again
Cool.
more smoke. So now I'm going to go ahead and stop this. But okay, so go ahead.
All right. So you
So do you want to
ready?
wait for a couple seconds, or do you want to go into it?
No, I'm gonna say let's go into it because they gotta get their keyboards ready. They gotta get ready, right?
All right.
So, oh, name 3 types of cigar cuts. I swear to God, if you guys weren't listening, I'm gonna go insane
We're watching
because I think we said it like a million times.
and
So,
show.
who's the first one to get this? Name the 3 types of cigar. Alan, you
Alan came through.
won! Yay!
There you go. Sorry, Haywood.
Haywood,
You're
you
about
just
2 seconds behind, man. You're right
Two
there, though.
seconds. Congratulations, Alan. Listen, Dwayne, we talked about this. I told you, tell Kay to type for you. This be straight punch.
Nice. There you go. It doesn't get any more direct than that. That's fantastic. That is
Yay,
hilarious.
Alan. We'll get you your cigars. Damn, there's more giveaways. Don't go anywhere. There's more. All right. I'm telling you, tell Kate to get on that keyboard for you. Okay. What the hell?
That's hilarious. Too funny.
Sorry.
Too
So
funny,
close.
too.
They were sitting there. They were sitting there. They were waiting. I'm about to.
He was on it. He
You
was on
guys,
it.
don't worry. We got more coming. We got more coming. So just stay for the rest of the show. So now we can get into the leads and stuff like that.
Okay, so now I'm going to share the screen again. Hang on.
Okay.
And tab and bang. Okay. So as you can see here, the question was, what's the difference? So the Candela is a green. Okay. Candela is a type of wrapper that has not yet been cured. The wrapper itself hasn't been cured. So all of the oils that come from that leaf, it hasn't been aged as long. That's actually a pretty powerful cigar, because what happens is, since you have a leaf that hasn't been aged, it hasn't mellowed out a little bit. So all of that flavor and everything that it has comes right out of that actual type of cigar. The difference there, and I'll give you some of my own personal experience. Candelas are actually very potent when it comes to smoking them. All right. And to me, if I'm going to smoke a Candela, and I do smoke Candelas from time to time, it actually gives you a buzz that's not exactly weed-esque, but weed adjacent. So meaning that it's potent,
Okay.
but it actually does have some kick to it, and that's what that is. So everything else has actually pretty much aged and cured for a little bit of time. So that's why you get the difference in colors, the difference in the wrappers, and the difference in the potency. Now, that's not to say that a Candela is the most potent type of cigar out there. It's not. Again, it boils down to taste, but Candelas and Oscuros are very potent, very powerful smokes. So I'm going to close this screen off now. Hang on. So what happens is, when you actually puff a Candela cigar, you can taste a lot of herbal notes. Whereas with the ones that have actually aged a little bit, you're getting a little bit more of a mellow flavor. You can actually pick up a lot more of the taste of not only the wrapper, but actually the filler. And that's actually a pretty good segue when it comes into cigars, because the cigar, you have the wrapper, which is the outside, and that's what you see first and foremost, especially when you go into any cigar shop. So you can pick, just because if you like a lighter color cigar, you might think to yourself that it's going to be more mild. That's not actually the case in a lot of cigars. So it's all going to be pick and choose, taste, and see exactly what's going to be for your palate. All right. So hopefully that answers the question in terms of the green cigars versus all the rest of the colors there.
So what about the wrapper leaves? Like, so it's the Candela. What?
So in terms of that wrapper itself, you have the Candela, the Claros, Colorado Claros. They all have different colors, different times, different age types. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the cigar wrappers themselves, you're going to have your Connecticut shade wrapper. Connecticut shade wrapper is typically the tan and the brown color. That's going to be there more prominent than what you're going to see out there in the market. So, and even though it's called Connecticut shade, those type of wrappers aren't only that color rather isn't only exclusive to coming from Connecticut. You have Honduran cigars, you have Dominican cigars. Of course, the big one is the Cuban cigars. The advantage that you have with the Connecticut wrappers are because they have a little bit more flavor to them than most other areas aside from Cuba. And that's not to say that Connecticut's aren't better than Cubans in some regards. They are. But that is,
Are you
when
just biased because you're from Connecticut?
no, of course not. That does not even sound like anything that would be for me. That's not the way that I operate.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not. But no, that's actually if you look at it, you have the Connecticut, you have the Corojo, you have Habanos, and then you also have the final one, which is the Maduros. So going back to that graph, I think I stopped it. Let me
That's
go back
okay.
to it. Okay.
So name the four again.
So you have the Connecticut,
The Connecticut,
shade wrapper. You have a Corojo wrapper.
Corojo,
Corojo is just a little bit darker than the Connecticut shades.
Mhm.
You have the Habanos,
Habanos,
hmm and then you have the Maduros.
Maduros. So if my people are watching, they know what the
Yeah.
hell I'm doing.
Are you giving hints? It almost sounds like you're giving hints. Like
I'm
that
telling
could be
them
a
to pay
possible.
attention.
I
I'm
don't.
telling them to
Okay, I
pay
don't.
attention.
Okay, no. I'm sure somebody has probably typed that in, and they're not going to comment anything, and they're just going to hit enter if that happens to come around. I can't
If
say if
that's the
it is.
question.
If
We
that's the
don't
question.
know if that's
If
the
that's the question. If that's the question. So that's. I'm about to punch my screen. Haywood, what you got going on there? What?
That was what he lost because he
Oh
came
man.
in 2 seconds behind.
Man, no anger, no anger. So see, you got to get yourself a
Listen,
cigar. Get rid of
you're
that
not
anger.
going to get any more comments because everybody's watching and waiting for the next question.
Mm.
So they're listening. They're paying attention because they want to know what's coming up next because they
We
want
don't
to
know what's
win.
coming. We don't know what's coming up next because now one of the questions that you that came across, I believe, was pairing a cigar um, with like
Yes, with the
wine.
wine. Yes.
Okay, so you can. Again, everything when it comes to cigar is a matter of personal preference. There is no right or wrong way to have a cigar or a drink. However, a cigar and a vodka, very odd combination. Don't necessarily want to try that. Same with a cigar and well, gin, of course, but a cigar and tequila. Again, very odd combination. To me, I think brown liquor mellows it out a little bit more
The
because what you get
whiskey,
with
the bourbon,
when you
right?
get with the bourbon and you get the charred oak casks, that actually plays well with the smoke that you get from a cigar.
So what about wine?
Hold
Would you
on,
prefer?
wait.
Yes,
I'm gonna go.
I already know what you
Wait,
see.
wait.
Alan, hold on. You're not
Alan, my
gonna
man,
wait.
Alan, you better believe the coach was an avid cigar smoker. That is, see, I like where you are, boy. I like that.
Well, but he also says this guy is you should have him on home team sports and entertainment. He's a sports guy
Here
all
we
the
go.
way.
Here we go. You
he
know,
is he's been a Bears fan for the last 20 years that I've known him.
longer than that. I actually met.
Well,
I
from
met
as
him.
long as I've known you.
Right. Yeah, it goes back way before that. There we go. So, back to the pairings.
So would you do a red wine? Because he asked specifically wine. So would
Right.
you would do more red than you would a white
You
or a
would because
rosé?
again, the tannins in a red wine again plays well with the smoke. So that's you want to find something that plays well with smoke. That's why whenever you see typically people that are smoking while they're eating or soon after, a lot of times it'll be something that has a char to it. So a steak, grilled chicken, something like that, because it's going to play well again with a cigar. Mhm,
So Haywood was my wine guy who came
mhm.
on, my wine
There you go.
enthusiast, and you and actually you and Jamie should definitely get together because he's a wine guy as well. Haywood does all like the wine trails and stuff like that. Um, so I invited him, but he had plans, and that's why he couldn't make it to our wine trip that we did. But definitely, yes, a red.
One of the other things, let me just throw something out there for
Sure.
Haywood. Haywood, I mean, if you're the wine connoisseur, then I'm sure you're probably familiar with Brotherhood Winery there in almost upstate New York, where again the Rosario brand has a Rosario wine. It's a nice little sweet table red, a little shameless plug because it's my last name. I have nothing to do with them, but I
Oh, the
just figured I'd throw
cigars.
that out there. Just throw that. Hey, wait, well, now the Rosario cigars I actually do sell resell for them on occasion, so that's a
Okay.
little different.
So tell us about that thing that you were doing before COVID happened with you were doing events with cigars.
So cigar events, again, going back to the celebration aspect of cigar events, I would be hired to go to weddings, parties, cookouts, anniversaries, and I would introduce people to cigar smoking. So what would happen is people would say they want X amount of cigars, 25, 50, 100, whatever the amount was, for their guests, and they would actually pass out the cigars free to the guests, and of course they would had paid my company before I got there for the experience. And that was the whole key, was the experience, because people aren't really going to go into a cigar shop just out of the blue just to try something. The majority of people aren't going to do that. So I would be there and I would pass them out to the guests and pretty much just give them an overview of what the type of cigars were that we were, that we were featuring at that point in time. A lot of times they were Connecticut shade wrappers, mild cigars that would give people that experience, and they didn't have to worry about investing, you know, the 8, 10, 12, $30 per stick. I mean, and that's the other side that people have to realize. Cigar smoking is not inexpensive. It can be a very expensive
Oh,
hobby.
I know that.
Yeah,
So, Haywood says cigar vendors are always at wine festivals, and he is very
absolutely.
familiar with.
Absolutely. There with Brotherhood Winery. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, hmm
Okay. So yeah, so the
yeah,
cigar,
they're not cheap.
it is not. I mean, you can find $5 or $6 cigars, but understand you are paying for quality, and quality does translate to, if you want a decent cigar, you're going to spend typically about $8 per stick. So I mean, you figure a pack of cigarettes is what, $10 at this point, maybe
What? Where
12.
are you
I
at?
don't know. Listen,
Like
I don't smoke
almost
cigarettes.
20 in Manhattan.
That's ridiculous. That's crazy. But
Yeah,
again,
it's
you look at a cigar, you're going to spend that $8, $10 for about a good 45 minute to an hour smoke. And that's one of the other things you have
that's
to remember.
true. You're having a
So
longer smoke with it. It's not like a 7 minute. It's like a 20 to 30 minutes, right?
it's probably
Versus
longer, a lot longer. It's probably, I'd say on average about 45 minutes. Because you can smoke a cigar for a good 45 minutes and not get tired of it. Whereas if you were dealing with
the
cigarette smoke,
cigarettes. Oh, yeah,
it's
you can't
because
do
you're
that back to
constantly
back.
puffing. A cigar, as you guys can see, I haven't been, keeping this in my hand every minute. I
And it
go back
burns
to it every
slow.
couple of minutes and it burns slow. Yep.
So Dwayne wants to know, are Cuban cigars still illegal here?
No, they are not actually. If you can find, most cigar resellers might have a stash. They're not going to be prone to give it into sell a Cuban cigar to somebody just walking in off the street. One of the best things that I can tell anybody that's interested in it is, if you find yourself a reputable cigar shop, become friends with that person. Go in there, ask questions, smoke, whatever type of cigars that you wanna try out. And then after you develop that relationship, if you happen to say to them, hey, do you happen to have anything that's underneath what I don't see? They might actually have something, and after you develop that relationship, they may be able to sell you one or two, but they're not going to sell you a box of them a lot of times, because they have other people that come in and buy in per stick.
Was it you that I smuggled Cubans in for?
I am not going
They
to say
can't
yes
do
or no.
anything
I'm
to
not
me
going to say,
now.
not
They
going to say
can't do
yes or no. I
anything.
mean, you may have went
I
on a
went
trip.
out of the
You may have went on
country
a
and
trip
came
and you brought a
back.
couple of, you may have done that. That's possible. I cannot confirm or deny that.
They can't get me now. They can't get
Right.
me now. They gotta prove it.
Yeah.
I guess
Well, I think you
Charles is
incriminated
saying
yourself.
boat rides as well, I guess, have cigar vendors on them as well.
That's right. And I mean, and that goes back to the experience, because it can be used at any point in time. So I mean, if you're on a boat ride, you're out there, you're in the open air, you're relaxing, you're chilling, you want to elevate that experience. And what more than the opulence again of cigar smoking?
Right.
You know,
And
you
then
can
with
light up.
cigars, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, you can light up a Newport, but how fun is that? Because you can light up a Newport standing outside of work for 5 minutes. That's no good.
Exactly. It takes 7 minutes to smoke a cigarette.
Yep.
With cigars, it's not something that you're smoking. For the most part, you're not smoking it every day.
Right. That's exactly
Now,
right.
what if you're smoking it and you don't want to finish it? And then you put it out. Like, how long can you keep it? Is that okay?
So ideally, you do not want that cigar to sit unlit for 2 to 3 hours after smoking it, because what happens is all of that stale smoke starts to permeate all the leaves, and that affects then the flavor of the cigar, and then it tastes like stale ash that you're smoking. So
I know
if you
you
don't,
said something else.
no, not stale ash, stale ash.
Shh, with the H. Gotcha.
H. So, so when it comes to cigar smoking, ideally you don't want to try and smoke a cigar in 15-20 minutes, because you're not going to enjoy it. You're rushing it, and you're really defeating the purpose of that cigar. You want to take the time, you want to enjoy it, you want to smoke it to where you can actually finish the smoke and actually taste everything. So ideally, if you can smoke it that in that time frame, great. But if you have to put it out for maybe 2-3 hours at most, and If it has to sit longer than that, just light up another stick.
But they're so expensive. So make sure depending on what you're buying. So make sure you take that 45 minutes. Make sure you take that time. And that's what it's about. It's about relaxing and celebrating.
Mhm.
So Stephanie says,
There you go, Stephanie. Yeah, I see it. Yep.
I love cigar smoking on cruises. I always buy a cigar on one of the islands and just relax out on the deck.
And the cigar smoking is your time to be selfish with your time, because it gives you that opportunity to plan out your day, plan out your week, reflect on what you've actually just gone through. If you've had a rough day at work, if you've had a rough day, your spouse is getting on your nerve, your kids are, beating you up, and you just need a moment to yourself. That's the perfect time to actually take that cigar, because it is meant for that relaxing aspect. It is meant to just calm you down, allow you to reset yourself, and then you can go ahead and tackle the rest of your day or whatever the case may be.
So guess what time I think it is?
It can't be. All right.
I think it is. But hold on. We have a
Okay.
question. So everybody
Mhm.
get ready, get your keyboards ready. Do you have a smoking room or smoking jacket? I have a small child, so I worry about the smell being too strong. What do you
So
suggest?
I don't smoke in my house at all, because number one, there's not enough ventilation for the smoke to get out of the house. If you have a garage, smoke in your garage, then, because you're not really worried about it. If you have a back porch, a screened-in porch or something like that, or a fire escape or whatever the case may be, you can use that too. Myself, I actually do have a velvet smoking jacket, but I do not use it.
I
I
need a
actually
picture. I need a picture. I need a picture of you in it. But go ahead.
probably not going to happen, but I actually got that a couple years ago as a gift, and it's one of those things where if you put the smoking jacket on, you almost want to wear an ascot with it, so that way you're really getting the full over the top, like, oh my god, am I this pretentious and this ridiculous with my cigar smoking? But as a rule of thumb, typically you want to, you're smoking in something comfortable. As you can see, I'm in my Bears jersey right now.
But
And
you're
here
also
in
in a
the
well-ventilated establishment that's
exactly,
made for smoking cigars.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Right. So I think it is time. I think it's time. Y'all ready?
All
Y'all
right.
ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? All right. Next
What was the
question is, name 4 types of cigar wrapper leaves. Y'all should have
Wow.
had that typed out, because I think
I'm
I
waiting
said
for
it.
Alan. I think because Alan hasn't said anything in a while, so I'm waiting for Alan to.
Alan might
Dang.
have gone to bed.
Oh, but
Alan,
Teresa beat
oh
him.
my God. What we
Teresa.
got?
Well, wait a minute. Hold on now. Teresa went a little extra. She went a little extra.
But did she still get
I'm
it?
sorry. Wait a minute. Are you guys in the same? Are you guys on the same page or something? Where did you guys both? How did they come up with the
Husband and
same
wife.
exact?
Husband and
Oh,
wife.
no wonder. I didn't even look at the last name. That's hilarious. That's too funny. But you guys are actually missing the one that I actually mentioned. You both have answers here, but you're missing one. I know you Googled it.
Ah,
You're missing
yes,
one.
you are missing one because you put 2. Yeah, you're missing one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little Wayne 50 Cent
And
Jay-Z.
they're missing. Actually, they're missing. Now that I look at it, they're actually missing 2 of them here.
Oh, well, I don't know. Does Dwayne win? He said Little Wayne 50 Cent Jay-Z and Chance the
It's
Rapper.
ridiculous. That's no, we're not going with that. We're
No,
not with.
the 4 we mentioned. The question was named 4. There's 4 rappers.
And now let me give them a little bit of background on that.
Okay.
What you guys put is not wrong. It's not wrong, but they're not the ones that we discussed, and that's the key. So the Claro and the Colorado, you guys need to put, and the Skuro is just a different type of Maduro, but you guys need to actually change those. And if we have to come back to that later on, we might have to.
Matt, what was that? What did Dwayne say?
Nah, Matt, no, not Cuban. Cuban's not a type of rapper. It's actually an area where cigars are grown, but that's not actually a type of rapper.
All right.
We'll go on, and then we'll come back to it and see if they get it.
We'll move on, and then if we have to change something around because it was too obscure. Wait, No.
No. Same thing, Dwayne. Those are the same, pretty much the same exact leaves that they mentioned before, but those aren't the ones that we discussed on here.
I said the what, the what, and the what. Like I
Yeah.
said it. Y'all.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna leave that up just
Okay.
so anybody who's watching they'll see.
Google. I
Name
mean, they Googled
Well,
and
you
they
know,
found
we
some
kind
mentions.
of technically did say name 4 types of cigar wrappers versus name 4 types of cigar wrapper leaves that we discussed.
I mean, but
It
you did
kind of
also.
got.
I mean, listen, this is your show, so I'm not going to tell them that they're wrong. The ones that they put up are
All
technically
right.
correct.
So here, I'm gonna switch this real quick. This will
Right.
be the question.
Go ahead.
All right, everybody listening, we're gonna take that one off, and we're gonna. This will be the quick re. Everybody watching, everybody got to get their keyboards ready. What's the difference between a green wrapper and a brown wrapper?
There you go. There you go. I like that. I like that change. I like that little on the fly change there.
No, we're changing the question.
Sorry, Alan.
We said, what's the difference between a brown wrapper and a green wrapper?
So now, if you look at Dwayne's comment,
Did he get it?
he got the answer to the ones that we discussed.
Connecticut, Corojo, Habano, and Maduro. You did. Guess what, Dwayne? This is why I have extra cigars. Dwayne, you won. You're going to win that question, but I'm still gonna let whoever answers that question
The difference between
win
them.
as well.
So now, and here's what
So
we're going to do. Here's what we'll actually do. Since we're going to use that the wrapper colors, I will include a green wrapper cigar.
all right. Did you
I will
hear
include,
that? So
now
now we're gonna
that's just
include
for
a
the winner
green.
of this question.
So that's just for the winner of this question. What is the difference between a green wrapper and a brown wrapper?
Right.
All right. So we're gonna move on and we're gonna talk. So where the origins of cigars? Whoever answers that, we'll put it up. But what is the origin geographically for
Well, the
cigars?
origin, and now be clear, that's not the question for the what's called.
Shut up!
What
Like
do you mean?
duh.
I'm just saying. So okay, hang on. So when it comes to the origins of cigars, a lot of that goes back to the Mayans and Aztecs because they had tons of tobacco leaves. So what they would do is, I mean, it would go back to cooking. So they would use, like, when they would steam things in banana leaves and things of that nature, they saw that they couldn't use the tobacco leaves because it wasn't doing the same exact type of flavor that they were used to when it comes to their cooking. So they would actually take those, and those were the makeshift first cigarettes and cigars at that time. So that actually goes back to probably, I want to say it was, I think I've read it at some point in time that was like 1200, 1300
Wow.
in terms of time frame. Right. So, I mean, in cigarette and cigar smoking has been around for millennia, so that's always been one of those highly debatable types questions is who was the first to have it. That was the first documented that I know. I'm not going to tell you that I know exactly everything about the origins of it, but of course everyone's going to have some rights to it, the same way that people claim either Asia had the first noodles or Italy had the first type of noodles. Who knows? So that's it. That's where it is. Green has a strong smoke than brown cigar. No, no, no.
I know
I
what
can't.
he means. It's not a
I know what
no.
he's talking about. It's not exactly. It's not an exact no, but it's not the way that it was
So,
actually phrased
but
here.
we'll
But
give
here's the,
this to him. So we're gonna throw a green one in there for you too. So
so
you
we're giving.
won question number 3. So you'll get the cigars from that question, and then we're gonna throw a green one in there for you. All right. So congratulations, Dwayne.
There you go. There you go.
He's like, yay! I won twice. He was like, I'm gonna win this one before the
That's
show.
hilarious. So now one of the other things is getting back to the origins of it. So you have the Aztecs, and like I said, they had tons of tobacco leaves, right? but it's actually grown so much where cigar and cigarette smoking, where you actually now have, of course, like I said, Cubans being the Cadillac, if you will, of cigar smoking. But you can actually find quality cigars that are made not only from Cuba but the Dominican Republic, from Nicaragua, from again the Connecticut Shade Wrapper, and that's all a matter of who are you asking for the history and who has the best type of cigars. It all
So
varies.
so that's where production is.
So
Cuba, Dominican Republic, Nigeria,
not
and
Nigeria, not Africa. I mean,
Nicaragua. Sorry.
so yeah, so I mean, you would say that it would probably, your Cubans, like I said at the top, Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Honduras is a very strong player in it. Um, you have you have American cigars, but the soil here doesn't give a great flavor for the filler of the leaves. The filler is what's actually on the end on the higher. You, the filler is what you have on the actual inside of the cigar. So again, we have the wrapper that's on the outside. That's a completely different type of leaf than what's actually on the inside, which is a filler. So again, Connecticut is known for its wrapper. Honduras has wrapper and filler. Same for Nicaragua. Same for Dominican Republic, and of course, same for Cuba. So any of those are pretty much your main areas of production for cigar.
Why Connecticut as opposed to any other state?
So the soil in the area where Connecticut shade wrappers are grown are actually very fertile, and what they do is they put the cigar leaves. They have these huge farms, and they cover their plants with cheesecloth because that way the sun's not beating down on it. Anywhere else, you're probably getting too much sun. You're getting the temperature for the growth of it. Like if you're in the Midwest, you get a lot of rain. That's going to harm the tobacco plants themselves. So the way that the Connecticut soil is and the amount of moisture and the amount of sun that we actually get makes it a prime area for growth for the cigar leaves or for the cigar wrappers. So that's why Connecticut's actually one of the best places to get the wrappers for, is because just the way that soil is up there, the way that the sun hits it.
So is Connecticut just the wrapper and versus the wrapper and insert or
It
the
is
lead,
the
the
filler,
filler?
right? Yep. The Connecticut wrapper is one of the most prized wrappers out there, and that's just because it is grown properly. It has enough flavor. It is aged properly, and it can pretty much go with and accentuate any type of filler that you get from any other cigar uh, plantations outside of Connecticut.
So I know you can buy a Philly blunt, right? That's what it's called. It's
Of
not a
course.
blunt,
Mhm.
but it's called a
Yep.
Philly blunt. In like any cigar, I mean any bodega,
And
any
right.
store, right?
And, mhm,
And they're inexpensive.
right.
What is that filled with? Is it any quality? Like I can't imagine.
So what happens is a Philly blunt is actually a machine made cigar. And what that means is machine made cigar doesn't have the true filler leaves, like the length of the actual leaves themselves. What it has is uh, chopped up leaves that they insert in there, pack in there, and they just manufacture it that way. That's going to lead to an uneasy burn. That's going to lead to no flavor in the leaves because you don't have that solid leaf in there. You actually have a bunch of different leaves, and the taste and the flavor is going to be all over the place. Philly blunts are, they're, if you want a cigar and you want to say that's your first step into cigardom, it's not going to be a pleasant one because there's no flavor. It's
Goodness.
just
Even though
not.
they're flavored?
Again, if you go for a flavored one, you're not really getting the cigar. You're getting more of the flavor, and it's not a for a cigar smoker. It's not a pleasant experience.
Gotcha. We have a question from Dwayne. Do you
Mhm.
smoke black and mild, or is that even a cigar?
So again, Black and Milds, Backwoods, they're all of the same cigar-ish, like Al Capone cigarillos. They're flavored to some extent to just not be necessarily a cigarette, but they are not. Again, to me, they're not a true cigar. But if that's what you choose to smoke, go ahead. But realize if you go into a cigar shop and you're smoking a Black and Mild or cigarillo, people are just looking at you side eye like you could just go out on the street corner and smoke that. So
Well, listen, we are at that hour mark. which
Oh my
means we
God.
have to ask. I know it's just so easy, right?
Flew by.
We we have our final question, guys.
We do.
Final giveaway of the night. Are you ready? Are you ready? Um, that was so much fun. Yay, Chrissy. I'm still up. Thanks, Jamie, for the great information. All right. Well, stick around. I just put it up. What four areas are known for cigar production? Alan, you have another chance. I mean, you won, but you have another chance to win. So, what four areas are known for cigar production? All right. And as we're waiting for your answers to come in, I'm going to ask Mr. Rosario the
Mm.
question that I usually ask anybody at the end of the evening, which is, and I don't care what it is. It could be anything in life. It could be an epiphany. It could be some motto you live by. What do you want to leave our viewers and our guests with one final thought?
If you're going to go and smoke a cigar, like I said, find a reputable cigar shop. Don't necessarily go and buy one from a corner store. And when you have that cigar, you're going to make a mistake with that cigar at some point in time, and that's all right. The whole point is the learning experience. Give it a shot. If you're going to actually cigar, spend the 9, 10, $12 for a good reputable cigar, and even talk to the cigar owner or the cigar shop owner and see what they recommend as their first their what they would recommend you to smoke. I can tell you, if you're first jumping out of the gate, any type of acid cigars are pretty much
Hold
flavored
on.
and them
No.
out. I say Cuban, Spain, Nicaragua.
And Connecticut.
Hmm,
No.
yeah,
Y'all don't listen very well.
I'm not sure. Okay, yeah.
Did you say Spain?
I didn't
No.
say Spain. I
You
didn't
didn't
say
say
Spain.
Spain. You
I did
never
not say
said
Spain.
Spain.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No,
Never
no.
said Spain. I don't know why both of you got Spain. I definitely didn't hear that. It was another Spanish country, though.
It
I will
was.
tell you that. It was another Spanish country, but not Spain.
Now, that's not to say that Spain is not a cigar producing country. I've never seen a Spanish cigar. Um, I, but yeah, that's not. We're not going with that one. Sorry, Dwayne. Sorry, Alan.
Yeah, that one I know for a fact.
Right.
So we got Eric who says, I used to think cigars
Mhm.
was so posh, but there's a lot to it. Thanks for sharing. It was fun.
And they are. Cigars are for regular people. And I mean, you don't have to make a certain income. You don't have to be of a certain stature in life. If you want a cigar, get a cigar, smoke it, enjoy it. Huh, Alan. So okay.
They're Googling this, right? It's not what they got from the show. I'm not letting this one go. It was what we mentioned on the show. Y'all not getting by with this one.
Now I'm
What
going to
did
tell
I
you why.
say on the
I'm going. I'm
show?
going to. I'm going to give Alan. I'm not telling you, Alan, you won. But I understand that you put Mexico because I talked about the Aztecs and Mayans. I get that, but that's not one of the places that we spoke of. Now
Yeah.
let's look at. Let's hopefully somebody can put two and two together and realize what Alan might be missing.
He's missing one. You're missing one, Alan. Y'all keep getting it's a Spanish. It is a Spanish
Well,
country.
yeah, but on Alan is missing the non-Spanish country. Now that's your hint. I can't be more open with you on that right there, Alan.
Oh, well, that was one of the other ones you definitely did mention.
Mm-hmm.
But there was another one. There
There we go, Dwayne. You got it. There you go, Dwayne.
Honduras. Honduras
Honduras.
and Connecticut. So, goddamn, Dwayne, you're just gonna be stocked with cigars.
That's all right. That's okay.
It's
That's okay.
congratulations. Definitely thank you for watching and joining in. I want to thank Jamie for coming on and being a part of the show and sharing his knowledge. I am going to again remind you guys to make sure that you head over to YouTube if you like what you saw, you want to continue to get content. We will be on until the end of the year, but come January 2021, we'll be moving to solely 2M1L Media on YouTube. So you need to make sure you go like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification. There are other shows there as well. If you specifically just want to see Chrissy Cypher, there's a playlist just for Chrissy Cypher, but there is Around the Turnbuckle on Saturdays and Sundays, 6 p.m. You've got Home Team Sports and Entertainment Tuesdays at 6 p.m. And then you have Spitting with Spitter Wednesdays at 8 p.m. And we also have some other shows coming in.
Oh my God.
So
Dwayne.
I didn't even get to go back. Let me go. I'm just doing my spiel here.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
So great show. Great show. Thank you, Stephanie. Chrissy has all the vices next week.
My Lord.
Awesome show. Thanks, David. Hey, Chica, who knew you were a See, you don't know until you come. All you want to do is debate with me on Facebook. Did you see?
Oh, Ellen, what?
The cuts were circumvented.
Lord God.
You guys are hilarious. I can't even wrap up the show. We could be on here all night.
We'll be here all night.
We'll be here all night. So make sure you go like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you, Charles. Have a good night. I need you on here, Charles. We need to talk about that. We talked about that. I need you here. So we can promote your show as well, which is Black Blue. He goes on Anchor and he has his own podcast there. So we definitely need to link up. But I'm going to leave you. But what I always say is if all you've experienced is all you know, then you are in a deficit of knowledge. And what that plainly means is that explore, grow, learn new experiences, be empathetic and compassionate, be open-minded and understanding. This day and age, that's what we all need to do. So one more comment. Oh, okay. Yes. Yep. Okay. So listen, make sure you head over to YouTube. All right. On that note, thank you everybody for joining. Congratulations, Alan, Stephanie, and Dwayne for your cigars. They will be to you shortly. And then you know what you got to do, right? You got to take the pictures. You got to post them onto Ciphered Knowledge. You got to share with everybody. So listen, one love, be safe. I won't see you until after Thanksgiving. So happy Turkey Day, everybody. Be safe. Be thankful, and I'll see you next Sunday.